Hi guys, a lot of you requested that I do a video on the time that I took healthy way too far. Yesterday I made a post on Instagram that got a ton of buzz, mainly because a lot of you guys are my new followers and you never seen me at my worst as far as fitness goes. Back in 2010 I was overweight, slightly overweight for my frame. I'm 5'3". I was pushing 151 pounds or so. And I ate junk food, I smoked occasionally. I drank a lot because I was in college and I didn't have any money. I was working part-time at GNC and I was in nursing school, and I remember my dinners consisting of like Chick-fil-A with ice cream, because that's all, like the kids meals. I would get Chick-fil-A kids meals plus ice cream instead of the toy because that's like literally all I could afford. So anyway, after basically feeling tired of the way I fit in my jeans, I decided to make a change, and it was kind of like a cold turkey change. And if you guys want to actually like hear how I lost the almost 50 pounds, I can make a video completely separate from this because this is beside the point. So I'll make another video on that later, but right now I'm focusing on how healthy can actually become an obsession. So I lost about 50 pounds. I was a mere 105 pounds. At the end of 9 months. This involved no working out. This was strictly diet alone. At this time I had graduated nursing school. I was working at a pediatric clinic and I was busy and on my feet all the time, so I didn't really have time to work out. Instead, I did a cold turkey change on how I ate. I stopped eating out. I did all the things the right way. I cooked for myself. I stopped eating out. I read all the labels in the grocery store. And just from these little changes, I started noticing that the weight was coming off. Like I would weigh myself, at work because we had a scale, and the pounds would just go down. Like I remember my first 5 pounds, I was like, whoa, healthy eating is great. I was feeling all Fitspo and oh my God, fit power, I was just in this zone where it became like a high to see every pound that I had lost, and I wanted more. Which was fine at the time because I was like 145, 140 pounds. Yeah, I'd lost a little bit, 10 pounds or so I kept going. I was self-taught. I didn't have a personal trainer or anything. I just basically Googled, and I learned, obviously I needed to cut my calories. So I cut my calories down to 1,200 a day, which is actually normal for some people, depending on what your goals are. And I kept on losing weight. It just kept on happening. And I was like, oh my gosh, all these changes I was making. However, I realized that it came to a point where I'd gotten too far when it would take me hours to grocery shop, because every little morsel of food that I would pick out, I literally had to read the carbs, the fat, the grams of this and that. I had to read the calories, the ingredients. If it had a chemical name, I put it back. I wanted everything organic. I didn't need anything packaged. 1 year for my birthday, my coworkers at the clinic actually bought me a birthday cake, and we all, cut it at the end of the shift, and I had my slice. Everyone was finished, and I didn't eat it. I threw it in the trash can. I had it programmed in my brain that sugar was terrible for you, and that if I were to have a bite of cake, I would gain my 50 pounds back. Okay, here I was, 100, 105 pounds, and I wouldn't touch a morsel of sugar, a morsel of fat, anything packaged, anything non-organic. I was miserable. Like, I was so frail that I had no energy to stand on my feet for 8-hour shifts. I was not who I used to be, and I felt this pressure to be perfect and to be as skinny as possible. Back then, magazines were popular, 8 years ago. It wasn't Instagram. Instagram was so new, people weren't really on it yet. But I also felt pressure from my ex-husband because, he had this obsession with porn, and I wanted to look like these girls who were skinny. And then the other thing that I noticed were that, after the weight loss, my boobs were completely deflated, and that's actually around the time that I actually got the implants. So, everything that I'd done, it was just for the wrong reasons. And even though I was bony and thin, I was still so insecure. I still wanted to see the number go down. And although I wasn't binging and purging, I wasn't not eating, I didn't have an eating disorder at this time, I did have an eating disorder, and it's called orthorexia. And basically, orthorexia is when you are obsessively and compulsively healthy. You gotta look it up, it's a real thing, and a lot of people don't realize that they have this. You can take healthy too far. That's why these days I'm heavier, but I'm happier. Like, I preach to have anything you want in moderation. Back in this period, you know, I'd started a little blog when I began my weight loss journey, and I feel so bad because I was preaching to these people, hey, you know, junk food's bad, don't eat it, you'll get fat, you know, and here I am like, okay, sometimes I stop by Chick-fil-A, you know, big deal, but it's all about a mindset, and I think that we get to a point where we can either beat ourselves up or we can allow ourselves to flourish. Being thin was fun for all of like 5 seconds. I realized that I had a problem, and then I started living life again. I started allowing myself sugar. I started like eating out more. I started, I stopped counting all the labels in the freaking grocery store, and I stopped counting calories. I don't count calories today. I don't count macros. I think that's just a waste of time unless you truly have a weight loss goal or some type of condition that your doctor's like, hey, you need to drop pounds fast or else you'll die. So I don't believe that it's really necessary to count all these things all the time, because literally it will suck the life out of you and it'll drive you crazy. And so basically, yes, you can take healthy too far, and there is such a thing as being too healthy. So I want you to find your healthy medium. That took me years to do. It's not easy. But I think you can find your happy medium once you're happy with yourself and once you're secure. So yeah, if you guys want to see the video on my weight loss before I took it too far, I will gladly make a video on that. But yeah, thank you guys for watching.